Hello. Welcome to CLSB Politics. Sean Briscoe speaking. Welcome to my National Political Campaign Organizing Plan Part 2. It's getting more exciting. I guarantee everyone's riveted. So this one's on community leadership and empowerment. So I think the biggest disconnect that we're seeing in the Democratic Party is the, blue collar, our people, the union workers. I mean, we saw it during the Trump administration. They view like we're Democrats, man. We're working party. We're working people party. We're not. I mean, do we have millionaires and billionaires? Sure. Are they, for lack of a better word, I hate to use the word Nazis. I think that one gets thrown around too much, but you know what I mean. But yeah, are they being buttheads? Trying not to. Most of our money comes from the people, like normal people. Go look at that's why the GOP's been rounding up billionaires, because it takes billionaires to beat off the people who fund Democratic campaigns. We always have more individual donors. And actually, that's the weird thing that Trump really did, was his ability to tap into that universe. It's not great. So key is to recruit community members as organizers through targeted outreach. That goes back to those organizers I talked about earlier in this series. And understanding the critical swing regions. Okay. So this also goes back to where we need to plant our operational hubs, right? We're going to plant them in these regions, and then we're going to use our organizers that are organizing year round to reach out to these communities. That's how it works. It's the only way it works. And quite honest, showing up once a week, even if they're not there, but you leave a message, hey, I was here, hey, I was here, hey, I was here. They're going to look at that and go, this guy's come by 6 times in the last month and a half. Probably should meet with him. It's that kind of stuff. You're not going to make the sale on the first run. They don't trust you. You're not from there. They need to know you're going to stick around, because no one ever has. And I can't even stress that enough. Nobody's ever stuck around, but we're going to. And that's why you got to reach out to these members, these organizations, these key leaders. Super important. So this basically means all politics is local, provide competitive, cultural, competent training programs, emphasizing leaders, local issues, and community organizing. So a really good, so in Texas, Democrats own almost as many guns as Republicans. I mean, there's a hunting, there's skeet shooting. I actually love to shoot skeet. So there's a whole gun culture in Texas and pretty much the South that, it's more sports than anything else. And honestly, I don't really know many people who actually shoot the animals anymore all that much as just targets and skeet. And I like skeet. It may just be the groups that I hang out with. But when you're running for statewide race in Texas, and the Republicans are prodding you to go against something they know are going to hurt you, don't take the bait. Know your local politics. So when you bring in these consultants from out of Texas to operate in Texas, which is hilarious to me, and we've got more people in Harris County and Houston than they have in most states. Which states did these consultants come from? It's like, if you can't handle a database of 1.2 million registered voters, don't even run a county-wide race in some of our larger counties. So yeah, I think that a lot of the times when they bring in consultants from out of state, you can go big to small. It's really hard to go from small state to big state. Just the math is insane. Like, they have as many registered voters in Dallas County as they do in Massachusetts. They have 2 times the number of registered voters in Harris County as they do in Massachusetts. So, I mean, you just gotta apples and apples, you know what I'm saying? So understand the local issues and community organizing, the logistics behind that. Very, 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 very important. I think mentorships are insanely important. From organizationally down, people that have been there and done that can help these others who, I'll be honest, a lot of the consultants I've worked with that are in their 20s and 30s, much like when I started, the technology was mostly, they'd gotten away from field and gone to phones. But then when smartphones came out, right, all of a sudden people's phones were smart enough to get around their phone banks. So the phone banks had to get smarter. But then, like, I'll tell you, it happened in 05. I watched my contact rate phones go from like, man, there was a time we used to get 8%. Crazy. Now, if like we get 1%, we're killing it. So that was, and I got to watch that happen in like between the municipal and state house races I was running during that time. I got to watch as our contact rate just went to crap. So you get generations of political consultants that rely on specific technologies, and the ones that are there now, well, they rely on, they've been on social media, and they're very, very good with it. And there's a place for social media. I always say social media is what happens once you've got the buy-in. Now you can get them to help you do things, but they have to have buy-in first. Otherwise, they'll just be flipping the screen. That's what you will be to them. So helping them understand how important field is, actually knocking on the door and the metrics, slowing down a bit, lengthening the program quite a bit. There is not a lot of instant gratification. Honestly, the first 2 weeks of a field program, I'm kind of just sitting around, making sure there's no problems with the database, but I don't get any answers. And about day 4 or 5, people start asking me questions, and I'm like, I could run it, but it won't tell you anything. Our sample size isn't big enough. We need to talk to more people. But about 2 weeks, if something's bad, it's becoming appropriate to freak out, because now you've talked to enough people that there may be a problem with your messaging or whatever, and now we can actually make some adjustments. That's why longer programs are better. You can make adjustments. And so when the bulk of the people are actually paying attention, September, October, everything's flushed out, everything runs like a dime. And that's the kind of stuff that I think older consultants, older than me, I'm old, but older than me, could help the younger consultants understand, and the operatives understand, how these things, why they're important, how they're important, and what they do that the other stuff can't. It's crazy important. That's just an example. My feeling is that if we're able to really develop solid organizers that are regionally literate in all the issues and policies and platforms and anything that crazy Republican legislature in that given state is doing, which I'll freaking guarantee you is probably happening in real time at the same time, because they don't stop. I think it's insanely important. I think you will see, they'll be like throwing a giant rock into a pond. You'll see ripples that will go out and they will touch all the edges, and the impacts will be huge, because you will have literate operators who understand the issues, who could be locals, but if they're not, they've been in the ground long enough to know what's going on, because we've knocked 100,000 doors. We've talked to 12,000 people. We know what's going on. We know what the kitchen table issues are. Well, the organizers doing this is like the key to making all that work. If we're asking the wrong questions and we knock on 1 million doors, who cares? Right? We need to be asking the right questions. Well, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. If you'd like to support the work of this channel, we have a PayPal. It's right there. And appreciate you all. I'll see you again with part 3. All right.